Behind the bright colors of the platform's biggest genre lies a massive epidemic.
I mean, I already knew this. Some of this I already knew.
And today, we're going to expose all of it. By the end
All of this I already knew, and the thing about it is I gave this video to family members that allow their to have kids, that allow them to do some of this stuff, allow them to not monitor what they're doing, and it's like, it's sad. It's sad. It's sad. It's sad, and I knew this was happening, which is why I get so worried for my nieces and nephews, because it's like, as much as I love my siblings, and I love them, they have that parent mentality where it's like, oh, give them a tablet. The tablet will raise them, because I don't have the time to parent them. They don't have to, they feel like they don't have the time to parent them. Because for one, my soon-to-be sister-in-law is working a full-time job. My brother's trying to stay home with the kids. But even he's not given the time they need to actually sit down and be like, look, I shouldn't have you watch this. Let's watch something more educational, something more field about God, stuff like that. Because it's so easy to be like, I'm just going to sit you in front of this. It can raise you and all that. And I see it I see it from personal life around family members around me. And it's like, it's sad. It's sad. It's sad, and that's what I told my family. Whenever I have kids, they're not getting no tablet till. And my sister-in-law was like, "Wait, don't you think that's kind of crazy? Don't you think that's kind of crazy, Shallon? How you don't want to give them a tablet till they're like a teenager or an adult?" It's like, no, I didn't even get a personal computer till I was 18. I didn't get my own computer till I was 18 and living on my own. I didn't get no computer. No, I had to go to the library to get on the computer. I had to go to the library to get on the computer. I had no personal computer of my own till I was around 18. I didn't even have my own smartphone till I was like 21, 22. I had my first phone was a dumb phone. My first phone was a dumb phone. Like, I didn't have any smartphones, none of that. And to tell you the truth, I thought my childhood, this wasn't the greatest. Well, I think I had a better childhood than some of these kids nowadays who are raised with tablets because they have massive depression, massive all that. Like, I'll give you an example. I was just talking to one of my oldest nephew yesterday. He was talking about how he's always depressed, how he's always this, how he does feel like his music doesn't satisfy him because he wants to make music. I'm like, and the music he was listening to were people not selling him anything good. They were talking about drugs, N-word this, N-word that, messing around with a bunch of women. It's like, no wonder why his soul isn't filled with good stuff. This is stuff my sister is letting him listen to that isn't filling him up with stuff of the spirit that's going to help him not be depressed. He's seen all these, he'd be like, oh, you gotta have all these drugs, you gotta have all this, clout, gotta have all this. But yet, it doesn't uplift any spirit where it's like he can be filled with the God spirit. And even my sister, she was like, it's like, well, don't get radicalized by that Christian dogma. It's like, what Christian dogma? The Bible, you can't believe the 100% Bible is true. It's like, yes, I can. I do believe the Bible is 100% true. And I do believe it's 100% word of God. It's like, and I gave her the testimony of this girl we're gonna watch later. But it's like I gave a testimony to this girl we're gonna watch later. But it's like, it's because of that anti-godly spirit that my family has been rooted in. They've been rooted in that because that's something that comes extremely from the left. I'll give you perfect examples of, like, I love the woman. I mean, I wish nothing bad to my grandmother, but she's one of the women that is very intimate with her being a left Democrat. It's like she gets emotional when you talk anything bad about them. And she wants to stop her car, and she doesn't even make logical sense when she says some of the stuff, what they say. She doesn't make logical sense. I'll give you an example. Yesterday, when we were in the car going to see my sister, I didn't even bring it up. I didn't bring it up. I didn't bring anything about the Democrat side or anything like that. She brought up the fact that Trump was firing people and that air traffic control, there was no air traffic control working. I'm thinking in my head, that don't make logical sense. If air traffic control ain't working, no plane should be able to take off the air. It's like, well, no air traffic. He fired out air traffic. No, grandmother, I'm gonna research this, and if I find it's not true, you need to admit what you're hearing is a lie. But she was like, well, Trump's firing every grandmother. I was trying to get the point of it. It doesn't make logical sense. If air traffic control is not working, there should be no way planes should take off the ground. No way planes should take off the ground. That makes no logical sense whatsoever. Makes no logical sense whatsoever. I don't know what make-believe fantasy world you live in where we can have planes but no air traffic control people, but I guarantee there's still air traffic control people working. I guarantee there's still air traffic control people working. You can't believe everything you hear on that magical box. You want to believe it's the 100% word of God because they said, Trump did this. No, grandmother, research it. If I research it, you will figure out that air traffic control is still working. They still have people working it. They're just limited on the people that have working it. They still have people working air traffic control. There will be no, I want to tell, that makes logical sense. Because then again, how could planes be flying right now? But she wants to believe that all these planes are magically falling out of the air. There's all these plane crashes because the news talks about all the plane crashes a lot, but it makes it over dramatized more than what it is. Like you made it sound like every day there's a plane, every day you just get on a plane, you're gonna die today. I'm like, grandmother, that's not gonna happen. Planes are still okay. Planes are still taking off okay. Planes are still going. I'm still gonna fly. I would have flew this month if I could have went to TwitchCon, but I couldn't because friends weren't there. So I plan on flying next year to go to Texas for WeebCon and go to probably not WeebCon, but I plan on flying next year to go to Japan for my birthday and stuff like that. It's like, and am I afraid of flying? No, I think air traffic control is still there, and I know they're still there because you can't fly without them being there. There would be, in that case, no one would be able to fly, grandmother. No one would be able to. And before she wants to say, oh, they're doing it with AI. They can't do that with AI, grandmother. They cannot do that with AI. There's certain things you can't do with AI. I don't care how much you want to believe AI is controlling everything. You cannot do that with AI. You need an actual person to do air traffic control. So it was like, and then she was just getting so intimate and sensitive with what I was telling her. But yet when I was telling my sister wasn't getting sensitive at all. My sister was just having a simple conversation with me, and we're just not being sensitive at all. My grandmother, she's like, it's emotionally intimate with her. It's like she has an intimate relationship with her being a Democrat. It's her idol. It's her idol, and anything that comes against her idol, she feels like it's attacking her. It's like, no, grandmother, you need to get that out of you. I love my grandmother. Don't get me wrong. I love my grandmother. I love that woman. But that's on me and her highly disagree on, and I think she needs help. I think she needs a lot of prayer to get out of that. I pray that even if it's on her deathbed, and she realizes that's wrong, she realizes that is wrong. But that's beside the point. But that's something that I didn't even bring up. She brought it up when she started hating on Trump in the car because she believes no air traffic control people are working, which makes no logical sense whatsoever. She doesn't think with logic. I'm like, that doesn't make any logical sense, grandmother. Makes no logical sense. Think with your logic, not your emotions. And my friend told me you were the same way back last year. I was the same way because I was trying to please my grandmother. I was trying to please her and do everything to please her, but then I realized I can't please this woman. I will never be able to please her. And to tell you the truth, I should be more focused on pleasing God rather than her. And that's the thing, I was rather on pleasing her rather than God. And that's the reason I was like, I'm much rather please God rather than her. Because when I please God, it will make everything better. So yeah. So So yeah, but I already knew all this YouTube kid stuff was going down, and to tell you the truth, I see a lot of it from members where they'll say, well, the government should do this for my kids and stuff like that because this is happening. It's like, no, the government shouldn't. This is your own choice of you not choosing to do this. And like I said, my brother's future-to-be wife, she said, well, I used to be on Amigo as a kid. It was like, there's a difference between what you used to do as a kid and what they do now on the platform. There's a total difference. There's a totally big difference. You may think it's the same, but it's not the same. It's way worse now than when you were a kid, because when you were a kid, it wasn't this vibrant of inappropriate, pornographic, sexual stuff out there. It wasn't thrown in your face like it is now. Like, it's way more thrown in your face than what has ever been for kids. Like, and you should not want to let your kids watch them this. And like, one of the things, I love my brother. I love him to death. I love Calculated. He needs to stop allowing his daughter to watch Coco Melon. Because I've seen how she reacts when she don't want Coco Melon. She attacks her siblings. She'll yell around the house. She'll throw a temper tantrum. And I'm like, ugh. That's what I told my family. Like, whenever I have kids, they're not getting any of this tablet stuff until and my sister-in-law said, well, don't you think that no, I don't think that a little strict. I mean, I didn't have one I didn't get my own personal computer till I was 18 and living on my own. I didn't get my own smartphone till like 21, 22. I'm not gonna let my kid have anything like that until they're at least going on 18. I'm sorry, and that's where I agree with Gatsu. The way Gatsu raises his daughter, because Gatsu doesn't allow his daughter to have any of that. The most Gatsu will allow his daughter to do is play on his Nintendo Switch or Nintendo Switch 2. He won't let her play on like a tablet or anything like that, which I agree with. But we're about to get into this video.
Behind some of these channels' owners, the detrimental psychological effects children are developing after being.
And I mean, this is I've seen it in my personal life.
Undeniable evidence that YouTube is fully aware of this problem.
They're fully aware of it. They don't want to take any action
because we're going down the rabbit hole. But first, while this video focuses on how YouTube fails to protect children on their platform, the truth is most websites are quietly failing you as well by secretly giving away all of your information behind your back. This is because data brokers collect all of our information and make a fortune selling it online to shady marketers, scammers, and even stalkers. I decided to test this by Googling my own name, and sure enough, all it took was a couple minutes to literally find my entire family history, as well as where I live. As a YouTuber who often exposes people and covers controversial topics like this video, I never know when I might attract the wrong attention of someone who wants to use this info for malicious reasons, which is why I trust the sponsor of today's video, Aura, to keep me safe.
I recommend VPN too.
From these data broker websites,
I recommend these too.
Aura also sends you
ad
to make sure it stays in, but it doesn't stop there. Aura also offers a ton of features to help keep you safe online. Password manager, an up-to-date antivirus software, a secure VPN, which personally comes in handy during the more sketchy parts of researching for these videos, protection from harmful scam calls and messages, and even
I'll probably end up getting something like this eventually when I get the money.
In case the worst happens. Aura really is like an all-in-one digital safety net, so why not try it out today? If you use my link at aura.com/CalebIsSalty, you can get 14 days free, which is more than enough time to discover just how much your personal data is truly out there. Thanks to
Aura for sponsoring
this video, and now back down the rabbit hole we go.
Let's go.
In July of 2020,
who's watching?
Published a report titled "Parenting Children in the Age of Screens."
Parenting Children in the Age of Screens.
How children engage with screens and social media, as well as parents' attitudes about these behaviors, and much more. 3,640 U.S. parents took part in this survey, a sample size that, after factoring in the various methods the research center used to ensure accurate representation, should confidently reflect the entire U.S. adult population. When asked what devices their child interacts with, 60% of parents disclose that their child, age 11 or younger, regularly engages with some sort of smartphone device.
Which is right there where people go wrong. I had no smartphone, no nothing till I was about 21, 22. And that's when your brain is fully developed and you can fully comprehend things. I understand you're like, well, I want to be able to contact my kid in school in case anything bad happens. I want to be able to contact my kid in school. I want to be able to contact them in school, be able to, make sure they're okay, all that. In that case, I will say, get them a dumb phone. Get them an old flip phone. If you really want to stay in contact with your kids, don't give them a smartphone. Give them a dumb phone. I don't care if my kid get made fun of. And tell you, probably when I do have kids, because I do want to eventually have kids and get married, I'm not going to have my kids in public school. Or if I do have them, they're going to private school. But I'm not going to have them in public school. I'm going to have either private school or homeschooled. But either way, if they need a phone, I'm not going to give them a smartphone. I'm going to give them a dumb phone. Like, you're getting a dumb phone. You're getting a flip phone with no way to talk to people on it. I don't care if my sister be like, why are you doing that? Why are you restricting them? Because I actually care about what they're watching. I want them to be watching what I want them to be watching when I want them to be watching it. But that's too strict. No, it will. The Bible, and this is what I tell people, the Bible says to be strict on your kids. It says to raise them up in the way of the Lord. And that's what that's another video we're going to watch today. That's what so many parents and Christians do. They're like, well, I don't want to be strict on my kids. It will make them hate me. You're not supposed to be their best friend. You're not supposed to be their best friend. You'll be a parent, not their best friend. Stop being their best friend and be a parent. That's what so many parents don't want to do. They don't want these new age parents. They don't want to be parents. They want to be their best friends. Like, I'm not trying to be my child's best friend. I'm trying to be their protector and their parent. Foreign folks smokes. So yeah.
It's honestly isn't surprising. I mean,
it's not surprising. I see it in my personal life.
What was unexpected, however, was that among those parents who said yes, 60% said their child began engaging with a smartphone before the age of 5, including
before the age of 5.
Their child began this before they were just 2 years old.
And that's the reason I'm not letting my kid have no smartphone, no nothing until they're at least 17, 18. And I'd say they're going to get a dumb phone most of that time, because I'll tell them, when you get on your own, you can then buy your own smartphone. When you get on your own, you can start make your own money, you can then buy your own smartphone. But under this household, you're going to have a dumb phone. Shoot.
Considering these findings, it should come as no surprise that when asked about YouTube, 80% of parents.
I see this stuff. I'm online. My grandma doesn't see how online I'm on all the time, but I'm chronically online. Unlike her, where she just surfs the basic surface web, I'm chronically online.
Apps like YouTube and YouTube Kids as a form of quote-unquote digital babysitting.
Digital babysitting. That's exactly what they do. I see a lot with people nowadays.
Instead of regularly paying money for a babysitter or putting the effort into finding ways to entertain the child themselves, it's easy for a parent to just hand their kid a phone with YouTube and let them sit somewhere watching hours of content.
Exactly, which is wrong. You shouldn't do that.
After all, it's not like YouTube has ever had any problems with content moderation for kids.
Exactly. Now YouTube has a bunch of problems with content moderation. I see it even from my own page search.
YouTube, 46% said their child has encountered inappropriate videos on the platform. So now that we've established exactly who's watching, it's time to answer our next question. Just how quickly can a child actually come across inappropriate content on YouTube?
Into the algorithm, which the algorithm promotes it like no tomorrow.
I wanted to find out firsthand just how quickly an individual can get exposed to this type of filth content that circulates the platform. And let me tell you, it's worse than I thought. The goal
is way
to
worse.
see what kind of recommendations a child might encounter when using YouTube on a parent's phone. To best replicate this, I created a fresh new account with a fake email, name, and age, which will become important later. And then, once the account was set up, I began searching up some of the top 100 most searched keywords on YouTube and began clicking on suggested videos pretty much randomly. I started off with Minecraft because, you know, it's kind of my thing. And while the initial search results looked completely normal,
And like I said, I'm pretty sure my brother starts out with Minecraft with his kids. I'm pretty sure his kids are also in Minecraft. But look how easy it is to go from Minecraft to now these inappropriate videos with Minecraft, or these inappropriate sexual videos.
after just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 clicks,
8 clicks.
this some sort of weird.
And then look, this gets recommended to them, and kids are going to click on this because it's like it engages the receptors to where it's like, oh, this looks cool. Then they're clicking on this, then they're watching this, then they're watching that, then they're watching all these other perverse videos that are just wrong. And then you wonder why your kid gets addicted to porn, stuff like that. It starts rebelling against you, stuff like that, because you didn't monitor what they were doing. You just let them have the phone and do whatever the heck they wanted to do.
Pregnancy animation using characters from Sonic the Hedgehog.
I mean, this is sick right here. This is sick.
I think now's a good time to mention
This is sick.
every time we find an inappropriate video, graphics will be displayed on screen containing the specific violations of YouTube's advertiser-friendly content guidelines, which are supposed to demonetize the video. However, for some reason, which we'll talk about later, YouTube doesn't enforce them. Trust me, you'll need it, because after clicking on this video, everything went downhill.
You see how it is? See how it is? YouTube's supposed to demonetize these videos, keep them from being done, monetized, keep you from making money on them, but yet YouTube doesn't care. YouTube's like, oh, but if I or another YouTuber talks about this kind of stuff, or we say stuff that's not on the political correct side or the pro left side, we're demonetized. We're told to shut up. We're told you get demonetized. But yet these videos say monetized, and they're clearly against YouTube guidelines. They're clearly against it. That's clearly against the guidelines. Yet YouTube doesn't care because they're like, well, it's making views. It's getting a lot of views. It's getting a lot of clicks from these kids. So why do we care?
Videos containing all sorts of inappropriate
all inappropriate
recommendations, to the point where it was almost the only thing recommended.
Exactly.
If you're enjoying the video so far, then please subscribe. We're super close to 200K, and realistically, this video is probably going to get vaporized and demonetized by YouTube anyways, so it would really mean a lot. Anyways,
which is sad, this video is going to get vaporized and monetized.
Roblox, and within just 9 clicks, the exact same thing.
Exactly, which is sad.
Another popular search term, Fortnite, and what do you know?
That's another game my brother kids play, which is easy for them to figure out, see this stuff. Infested. Like, I think I've seen my own niece. I think I've seen my own niece.
Another popular search term, Fortnite, and what do you know? Same stuff. And it's not just these few minute examples. Nearly every game, kids show, and cartoon.
I think I've seen my own niece watch this video right here, which is very, very sick. I think I've seen her watch this and watch something like this and this, which is sad. I'm like, how are you letting your kids watch this? And my brother's in the other room. Oh, I'm just trying to do this. It's like, dude, watch what she's watching. She's watching inappropriate stuff. I didn't say anything because I don't want to start an argument. I'm like, look what she's watching. It's clearly inappropriate. But you don't want to care. You should care. That's some sick stuff right here. There's some sick stuff right here.
are infested with this filth content as well. And the further I got into this experiment, the more it became apparent that this content isn't just easy to find, it's practically unavoidable.
Don't go forever. Hurry up and undress. Oh, okay. I'll do it. But it's a
Seriously,
It's sad.
try this experiment out for yourself. I guarantee that if you
I have tried it out, and it's easy. It's very easy.
Scrolling through recommendations, you'll find this content as well. And just to add a little bit of extra credibility, last year researchers from the University of Michigan performed a similar study to the experiment we've just
U of M.
popular children's
U of M.
such as Minecraft and Fortnite, and analyzed
My brother's own favorite college sports team
ended up finding out that more than half were identified
did this.
as including
You should listen to U of M. Don't listen to me, listen to U of M.
while 29% included what they labeled as creepy, bizarre, and disturbing imagery. And although this issue
That's from straight up U of M, your favorite sports team, dude. Listen to that.
is that a weirdly large amount of the more recent wave of these channels seem to revolve their content almost entirely around a single game. A game that, up until this point, I had never even heard of, but now I believe serves as the perfect answer to the next question of this video. Just how do all of these disgusting kids channels even operate in the first place?
Without pretty sure my siblings' kids have played this video game.
What you're viewing on screen right now is a
Pretty sure
game
his
called
young daughter's probably played this video game. I think I've seen her do this monkey stuff.
No idea what this game was. But
I think I've
according
seen
to
her
the
do
Game
this.
It was actually created as a mod for another, much older video game called Incredibox, a music mixing game released in 2009 that features silent, idle characters and a variety of sound tiles. The idea is to place different sound tiles onto the characters and eventually create, let's just say, a masterpiece of your own. Fast forward to August 26th, 2024, where the fan-made Sprunky mod was first released, changing the sounds and characters from bland and slightly unsettling, if we're being honest, to a much more vibrant, colorful, and kid-friendly theme. And it was this simple change, which I believe made Sprunky a perfect target, as somewhere in between the game's release and now, several anonymous YouTube content farms began to take these otherwise completely innocent characters and create all sorts of clickbait slop content targeted towards kids, using them in many different disturbing, sexually suggestive, and violent ways for shock value in order to get more clicks.
Which is
A good
sad.
example of this
Which is sad.
by far the most popular channel in this niche, simply titled PKR Show.
Which is sad that look how many subscribers he has. Look at where he's at. And these aren't adults watching. These are kids subscribing to his channel. These are kids that are just like on their parents' smartphone or on their smartphones watching this stuff, and it's like clearly inappropriate, clearly stuff that could damage a kid's psyche watching this stuff. And they're clicking on it because it seems so colorful, all that, and parents like, oh, no, it's not innocent. It's destroying their innocence. It's destroying their innocence. It's destroying their youth, and it's clearly inappropriate. This is right on the surface level of YouTube and the recommendations. Like he'll go in the video and talk about later how YouTube can control what you first see, but after you click on a few videos, it's up to the algorithm to recommend you what you see next. And what the algorithm recommends you see next, they have no control over. So, and the algorithm will promote this because kids will get these videos from a few 9 clicks, and then they're on this stuff, and it's all on their recommended page. It's all on their recommended page, and it's sad. Like I've seen this stuff with some of my siblings and kids and all that.
Every video revolves around playing the game with a quote-unquote sus mod installed that replaces the character's normal actions to all sorts of inappropriate
Which is sad.
such as nudity,
Which is sad.
content,
Which is sad.
education,
Sad.
murder,
Sad. That's straight up of the devil. Straight up demonic shit of the devil. Straight up demonic shit of the devil.
violence.
This is all demonic shit of the devil.
This is
all demonic shit of the devil that I would never give my kid. My kids are not getting no smartphone till my kids are getting no smartphone till they're at least 18, at least 8. They're out on their own. I tell them, your own smartphone when you're out on your own. You'll get a dumb phone. Man, look at this. This is right up on the recommended page.
Or what about channels that take things a step further, such as Runky Real Life, which
Runky Real Life
uses real actors dressed up as the game's characters to create live action content that, to no surprise, is filled with all sorts of weird fetishes and inappropriate content.
Which is sad. I can see.
This is the exact same type of content.
This is wrong.
Platform
This is wrong, and this kids can easily get access to this. Ain't like they gotta press, oh, are you 18 plus to watch this? No, you can get easy access to this, which is why I understand why they made the whole photo ID system for YouTube and stuff like that. But it's still, even with the photo ID system, you kids can still get access to this. All the parent gotta do is upload their photo ID. They can easily get access to this. This is ridiculous. It's straight up on their platform. It's straight up everywhere, and it's like, this is why I say, me personally, my kids, whenever I do have kids, they're not getting no smartphone till at least 18 or out on their own. They'll get a dumb phone. The most let them play video game wise, which I'll probably even monitor even them on that, because you can get slop on the Nintendo eShop store, which I've warned my aunt about that. You can even get slop on there because Nintendo doesn't have any quality control on there. So I told her watch when the kids go on the eShop. But I told her like, look, my kids are not getting any smartphone, tablet, no nothing until they're at least 18 out on their own. I'm also let them play is maybe the Switch or Switch 2 or whatever until the Switch system is out by then, or let them play or let them play something on like an old retro console. Like, I'll buy them an old retro console, they can play on that. But as far as like actual playing on a tablet or something or phone, no, they're not getting any of that. No phone or tablet. I've been told by family members I'm being too strict. If I ever had kids and I do that, I'm being too strict. I'm like, you can say I'm being too strict, but I don't believe I'm being too strict. I believe I'm raising them the right way, because the Bible says to raise them up in the way of the Lord and to be strict. The Bible says to be strict. And that's what so many parents don't want to do. They don't want to be that strict parent and they want to try to be their best friend and being a parent. And that's what gets disobedience and stuff like that.
Entirely back in 2017, which again, I'd like to remind you, is both fully monetized as well as being
I mean, this is fully monetized
to millions of children. And this is the problem. Whenever any video game, movie, or TV show that even remotely looks kid-friendly or popular amongst a younger audience starts to become popular on YouTube, these content farms are the first to latch onto it. Recognizable characters, throwing them into some sort of exaggerated or shocking scenario to make the younger these thumbnails stand out way more than others, and pushing out dozens, if not hundreds of videos in rapid succession in order to squeeze out as many views and as much money as possible before the trend dies and they move on to the next one.
Which is sad.
Time again, with different shows, horror games, and even different kid-friendly shows such as Peppa Pig, Inside Out, and Paw Patrol. No, I'm not joking. As they quickly become playgrounds for this disgusting, exploitative YouTube content directly targeted towards very young children that ranges from unsettling at best to ultimately what is the topic of our next section, downright predatory. Straight up predatory, straight up dark, sick stuff. Anonymous for reasons one might expect. During my investigation, a select few operated with a surprising level of transparency, enough to pull me into a disturbing rabbit hole I wasn't expecting to find. For some unknown reason, perhaps to try and squeeze a few extra dollars out of their young viewer base, or for their own twisted enjoyment,
Demonic, satanic stuff.
A few of the channels I found, in addition to posting the same suggestive content we've already talked about, also advertise private 18 plus Patreons to purchase access to their NSFW content and animations.
Straight up getting addicted to pornography, which is sad.
Channel I talked about earlier. Sure, we've already gone over the atrocities that are their videos. What I didn't mention is that they also have a Patreon link in the top of the description for all of their videos,
which is sad.
Quote-unquote,
sad. And all it takes is a kid asking their mom to use their debit card or credit card, and they can get access to this, and they don't even know what they're purchasing.
Natural shield, preventing most children from immediately accessing.
Don't even know what they're purchasing. Don't even monitor what they're purchasing. Don't even monitor what they're purchasing. Just, you can use it. You can use it. Then you got addicted to pornography, to all this stuff, and right in your face. It's so sad.
They couldn't yet pay for it, but although only a small handful of their young viewers were actually able to purchase and access the NSFW content, likely whipping out their parents' credit card to do so, over 2,600 people tried to by successfully making an account.
Just to make an account, getting it for free for a little bit.
They had to pay. Another insane example I discovered is the channel X Animation. I've honestly been waiting to talk about this one. As you can guess, they make actually suggestive 3D animations using characters from
which is sad. That is some sad stuff. That is very sad.
I've never seen. I literally don't think
sick.
I can show a single one of them without my entire video getting demonetized.
This is sick. Sickening.
A pretty good idea. Pomni and Jax are ready for kids. Pomni gets her by Jax. Special evening, Pomni and Jax. Pomni touched him. Ragatha and Jack's first time. What the it baffles me.
This is sick.
Allowed to exist on the platform, let alone remain fully
this is sick.
Let alone contain links to a quote-unquote exclusive content Patreon.
It's a sick.
Which, to no surprise, is filled with dozens of graphic images and animations.
Very sick.
Which the owner actively promotes to the hundreds of thousands of children that view these videos.
This makes me sick.
Once again, I just have to reiterate that there are so many channels just like this that are just
yeah.
with it. All of the channels I'm about to mention, I literally have found within 2 minutes of each other. Like this channel here, 230,000 subscribers, their most viewed video. Don't peek. I wonder what that's referencing. 12 million views. This one, 5 million views. Bro, what is this? Then you go to this channel. What are these thumbnails, bro? 179,000 subscribers, 38 million views. You go to this channel, it was created a month ago. It's already getting 1.4 million view videos. Like, it's honestly crazy. And the scariest part is that YouTube is such a large platform that we may never know the true scope of.
We may never know the true scope of this.
These channels had left a way to contact them, so obviously I reached out.
And watch what they say in the email. This is as far as I got earlier. But watch what they say in the email. Watch what they say in this email. What they say in this email, which is very sickening and shows how their heart is at, and shows how demonic they are. Watch what they say in this email, which by what they're saying is they can say pretty much like, I care less. I'm making money. I'm greedy. I have a heart of a demon, and I care less. Your kids are being raised by my demons. Let them be raised by my demons. Look at what he's about to say.
In a surprising turn of events, it seems as though one of these channels have actually answered our questions. Turns out the X Animation channel has actually chosen to respond, and dude, these answers are insane.
They're straight up demonic. Straight up demonic.
What motivates you to create this type of content? And I also wanted to know what made him choose these kid-friendly characters specifically. To which he simply responded, "It's only for the money."
Only for money. What does the Bible say about? What does the Bible say about? Say about money? It said the love of money is a root of all evil. For the love of money is the root of all evil. Not, it didn't never say having money. See, this is where Christians get it twisted. Christians get it twisted when you say it, they're saying, "Oh, well, I love money. I want to have money." No, it's saying the love of money. It's not saying having money. Nowhere does Jesus say, "Oh, having money is the root of all evil." No, it's a love of money. Read that love of having that materialistic greed that does, where you're like, "I need to have that dollar. It's my God." That's the love it's talking about. And this was this person have the love of money. He has the love of, or they, I'm not sure if they're guy or girl, I'll say they have the love of money. They have the love of money, and it's the root of all their evil.
So naturally, the next question I asked was, are your videos made for kids? Because if not, who the hell is this guy's targeted audience? To which he actually responded, yes, they are for kids. Specifically, kids watching from the devices of their parents. Oh my
That
God.
is sickening. He admitted to, oh yeah, it's for kids. I'm making inappropriate content for kids, but they're watching from their parents' devices. I could care less. I want them to watch from their parents' devices. It makes me money. It makes my evil. It makes my evil grow. It makes my demonic demon grow, which is sad.
This literally confirms our theory that kids are, in fact, coming across this garbage content by using their parents' phones. I actually wasn't expecting him to just admit this openly. So my next question was, while it may not be his intention, it's very obvious that children are watching these videos, and I really wanted to know how he felt about this. To which he just responded that it's brain rot for kids. So, I mean,
brain rot. It's brain rot for kids. It meaning it's infect your kids with my demonic demons. My demons are rotting your kids' brains, so I'm happy. Am I happy my greedy demons are rotting your kids' brains?
I guess that is an answer. And I want to get into more of the hard-hitting questions here. So I next asked him, what's the reasoning behind using all of these disgusting titles and thumbnails in his videos? To which he literally just said, it gets more views and more attention. Once again, bro,
everything revolves around that greed, that clout, that it gets more views, it gets more attention, it gets me more of my demons out there, it gets more of my demons in kids' eyes, more of my demons in kids' eyes. That's when the Bible said to be strict and not be a strict parent to your kids.
Everything we've been saying has been confirmed by this message right here. So then I decided to ask him, do you believe your content is appropriate for YouTube, specifically appropriate for children? To which he said, yes, it follows all the rules of YouTube. This is just not true.
And clearly that's not true. Clearly it's not true. They're lying. It does not follow the rules of YouTube. It's clearly against the community guidelines, but YouTube refuses to take it down because YouTube's, for one, making money off them. So YouTube's like, well, we're making money off them, so we could care less. And for two, it's getting a lot of views in the algorithm. So it's like YouTube's like, oh, the algorithm's doing good. It's making us money, so we care less. Even though it breaks the guidelines, we're not gonna care. We're gonna let it be on here and let it be monetized because we're making money. Once again, to go back to that love of money.
As we'll explain later in the video,
root of all evil
are in fact blatantly against YouTube's community guidelines and terms of service. It's just that they actively choose to not do anything about it. And finally, I just had to ask, why do you include links to NSFW content in videos to which this guy has now confirmed himself are targeted towards kids? To which he literally said, to earn more money, some children buy it with credit cards of their parents.
Once again, a demonic demon saying, oh well, some people buy it with the credit cards of their parents, that their parents not paying to what they're buying, so I could care less. My demonic demons can spread to all of them. This is sick. This person is straight up, he has a heart of a demon. The heart of a demon. And it's like, why are you letting your kids be on this and have this kind of technology. I didn't have this kind of technology when I was a kid, and I think I grew up to be pretty good. In fact, I'm actually glad I didn't have the technology as a kid, because it allowed me to have more better experience, like going outside, playing with kids, being in the woods. Like, I remember being in the woods with my kids, my friends as a kid, and just playing or role playing like certain video games. Role playing, we were from Dot Hack, or role playing we were from Kingdom Hearts or something. Like, we just role played. We would go out in the woods and pretend we were from a Dot Hack video game, or we were from some JRPG. And I remember that. I remember having fun doing that. Those were fun days. Those are the fun days. Nowadays, you don't even see kids doing that. We see them all with tablets and stuff like that. The sickening stuff that these demons are raising their kids, and kids are being disobedient to their parents. They're rebelling against their parents. They're going out and doing drugs. They're going out getting involved with criminal activity. They're going out and getting guns and killing innocent people. Stuff like that. Doing all this inappropriate stuff because parents refuse to actually be a parent.
Oh, bro, what the fuck? These conversations were truly a turning point in the investigation for me. They made me realize that this isn't just some small corner of YouTube. No, it's an entire industry solely built on exploiting young audiences for profit. And it's at this point where I'm sure some of you are wondering the same question. If the regular YouTube app is so unsafe, why not just use YouTube Kids? Well, I'm glad you asked, because as we'll prove in this next chapter, I have strong reasons to believe the same content is showing up there as well.
Yep, it is. Nowhere is safe. Nowhere is safe. That's right. My kids aren't having internet.
As we all know, every video uploaded to YouTube is forced to be labeled as either made for kids or not made for kids. If a video...
I have to click that button every time I go live on YouTube. Every time I go live on YouTube, I have to click that button. Is my stuff for kids or is it not for kids? Because when it's marked not for kids to YouTube won't put ads on it for kids. They're not allowed to be promoted with certain things on YouTube Kids, stuff like that. But a lot of what you would do, they'll put it as for kids, and it will still get to the algorithm, get to them, and so that even though it's not for kids, because they want to have those kids clickbait and engage. So that then when they're on regular YouTube, they can put the ads on regular YouTube, and they'll get the ads on regular YouTube. They don't get ads on YouTube Kids, but it will, and then the kids will go for the regular YouTube to figure out more of the videos, and it just gets this evil cycle. I have to click that button every time I go live, and never once do I ever click the video. My videos are for kids, because even though I do a lot of Christian videos, I'm like, oh, kids should be able to. My content isn't for kids because I want people with mature minds, that fully developed minds, to fully understand what I'm going through, because that's what you need, a fully developed mind to understand this stuff, to have this discernment. Come for more people that are fully there in their full walk with God as a young adult and stuff like that. And some of the stuff I talk about is really sensitive stuff that I don't feel like kids should be getting involved with, but at the same time, they do this every time. They'll put it for kids. It will get recommended to them, and it's just right there. You have to click that simple button, and that simple clickable button is the reason to get recommended to kids. And they don't care.
Gets set as
YouTube don't care.
No changes, and the video remains unaffected. This is how basically every YouTube channel you've ever watched operates. And it makes sense, because if a video is determined to be made for kids, it will lose a majority of.
It will use a majority of its functions, exactly.
The comment section, and most importantly, personalized ads and ad revenue. This
exactly
is the result of a $170 million lawsuit that the FTC filed against
exactly
in 2019. And among other reasons, like stopping YouTube from being able to illegally collect data on children, it serves as a good way to separate kid-friendly content from everything else. So I find it extra confusing that even videos marked as not made for kids still actively get recommended and even promoted on the homepage of the YouTube Kids app.
Yeah.
If we go back to literally any of the channels I've mentioned so far, click on a random video and check out its engagement, you'll notice that the total ratio of views to likes and comments is often vastly disproportionate. For example,
Vastly
my latest
disproportionate.
video, which was packaged towards a general audience and has over 3 million views, has 126,000 likes and over 14,000 comments at the time of release.
Exactly.
If we compare that video to this weird inside-out animation, which is clearly aimed at children, you'll notice that despite having a pretty similar view count, it has significantly lower engagement, with around 17,000 likes and only 89 comments. This is most likely because when you watch a video on YouTube Kids, it doesn't allow you to interact with the video in any way. As you can see here, there's no way to leave a like or comment on this video at all. It only allows you to simply watch the video. However, because the original video still comes from YouTube, it still counts as a normal view. And
Don't count as a normal view.
Left on the actual video is most likely from other kids using the regular YouTube app.
The other kids using the regular YouTube app off their parents' phones, off their parents' everything, which is very sick, and the reason it gets in the algorithm and the reason that it gets to them, which is very sick, which is why you cannot allow your kids to use this. I'll say it again, I'm never going to allow my kids to have a smartphone or tablet. The most they'll get is maybe to play my Switch or Switch or whatever Nintendo system is out by then. Not getting any tablet, Steam Deck, none of that. Those are all for me. Those are all for Dad, because Dad has discernment. You're not getting any of that stuff till you're at least an adult and you can buy it on your own. You can have a little bit of discernment. While they're in my household, they're not getting any of this stuff. My family said I'm being strict. I'll be strict when I have kids. No, I'm being a parent. I'm being a parent. That's what we're supposed to be. We're to be parents first and friends later.
Probably on their parents' account or something. I mean, come on, take one look at these comments. According to a Google support article regarding what videos are available in YouTube Kids, Google openly admits that while the videos on the YouTube Kids home screen are manually chosen via review, the videos from search results and recommended don't get this same treatment. And
Like what I tell you before? What did I tell you before? Or what he said earlier? I knew this is as far as I got in the video. What I tell you what he said before? That YouTube said what they first put out there on YouTube Kids is stuff they monitor. But after what gets recommended from the algorithm, it's the algorithm that you have no control over that. I mean, once your kid clicked off a few 9 videos, because they got recommended from the algorithm. That algorithm we care less, because the algorithm is what's going to make us money. It's what's going to make us money, which is sad.
Google openly admits that while the videos on the YouTube Kids home screen are manually chosen via the videos from search results and recommended
from the algorithm
are automatically chosen by YouTube's algorithm. Isn't perfect.
They say isn't perfect.
There's a chance that your child will find content that you don't want them to watch.
Exactly.
You might be able to immediately tell whether something is definitely not suitable for children. An AI algorithm might struggle, especially when the content features family-friendly characters or other elements common with children's content. So it's entirely possible that as long as a video looks family-friendly enough in the eyes of the algorithm, by loading up the thumbnail with a bunch of bright colors and swapping out any potentially dangerous words like with prank or with love verse, it will get recommended just the same. To support this theory, I decided to venture onto YouTube Kids myself, and while I was only able to find a handful of examples in my limited time viewing, which, albeit, are still damning in their own right, it was actually the search results that told me everything I needed to know. When I started typing in the name of any kids content related character, the suggested results got pretty weird. For example, when I searched up Pomni and Jax, I was met with suggestions like Pomni and Jax kiss in bed, Pomni and Jax sus, Pomni and Jax kiss on lips, as well as Pomni noises, Pomni no shirt, and Pomni no blur. And of course, this isn't the only
Which is
example.
sad.
The fact that these searches even
Pomni
exist
no
before
blur.
YouTube
This is
kids,
sad.
in my opinion, strongly suggests that not only are these disgusting content farms slipping through the cracks, because believe me, this is not a unique incident, but children are actively searching and finding them on this app as well. But even if this entire theory somehow isn't true, the rest of the quote-unquote normal content being promoted on YouTube Kids is just as dangerous for slightly different reasons. Let's have a quick chat about Coco.
Like I said, this is something I've seen this. I've seen this with Coco Melon in my personal life. What I was saying earlier, my brother calculated his daughter loves Coco Melon. So he watches Coco Melon. I've seen her actually get violent, throw temper tantrums, yell at her siblings, attack her, talk back to her mom and dad, all when Coco Melon is not on. This is wrong. This is evil. This is demonic. And even when you hear what the people of Coco Melon are saying, they're saying they do this stuff on purpose to make money, to make evil, demonic choices. I'm sorry, my kids are not watching Coco Melon. They're not getting any of this stuff. And I don't care if my siblings say, oh, you're just mean. I'm raising my kids in the way of God. Once again, way of God.
Your platform and the second most watched.
And I'm probably going to have them watch stuff on, like, Angel Studios.
I want to take a few moments to
200 billion, and I know a few of those came from my siblings.
Those numbers come from just one of dozens of their channels, and that while I believe most people watching are aware of who they are, a majority of the public are unaware of the many disturbing editing tricks they use. It doesn't just entertain, it overwhelms. Aggressive pacing,
Overwhelms.
at all costs. If
Overwhelms.
Coco Melon video and track each time the frame changes, we'll notice that the camera cuts or shifts to a completely new scene about every 1 to 2 seconds. On top of
Which is sad.
also bears an extremely bright and exaggerated color scheme, often
Which is sad. This is something that gets their attention and makes them into violent little kids.
Further lock kids into a cycle of constant engagement. To the average person who's grown up watching traditional media, trying to sit through a Coco Melon video might get pretty tiring on the eyes pretty quickly. But for a child in their formative years,
you shouldn't allow them to do this.
it becomes their new normal as their brains adapt to the constant stimulation.
And I've seen it with my own niece. I've seen it with her.
Seem quote unquote boring by comparison. And this is 100% by design.
100% by design.
Coco Melon, Moonbug Entertainment, has a dedicated Distractatron room where once a month,
Dedicated Distractathon room. Dedicated room for making this kind of content, making the kind of slop to make sure your kids are filled with this evil, violent stuff.
away from a larger screen that loops mundane, real-world scenes, such as someone getting a haircut or pouring a cup of coffee, each lasting about 20 seconds. Every time a child looks away from the screen with Coco Melon for even a second, a note is taken and the video gets fixed accordingly.
Kids
To only want Coco Melon videos, naturally leading up the competition and helping them rack up billions of views a month. And it's working. So much
Yes,
so
it's
that
working.
Coco Melon addiction started to get commonly used on places like TikTok, with thousands of parents uploading videos of their babies having an instant reaction and mood change anytime a Coco Melon video is played.
Which is sad. I've seen that. If I see one that I've seen personally. I've seen this one personally. I've seen that personally happen with my own siblings. That stuff is wrong. You need to not do that. I've seen my own niece throw a temper tantrum like that because she couldn't watch Cocomelon.
Parents to think YouTube Kids isn't a safe alternative either way. Either you have wildly inappropriate videos slipping through the cracks and appearing on the app, or if we pretend for a second that this somehow isn't happening, the content that is being promoted, like Cocomelon, is still very harmful in its own way.
Yes, it is.
YouTube Kids is just the lesser of two evils.
Lesser of two evils.
I obviously never came across any form of unsafe kids content on YouTube, and instead had a 100% clean experience. Well, unfortunately, the danger doesn't stop there, because the next massive issue with YouTube and child safety that we're going to be discussing doesn't come in the form of videos uploaded to the platform, but rather the space in between them.
The ads. Not safe for work ads.
YouTube ads are without a doubt the most
How YouTubers make their money.
There would allow myself and many other YouTubers
And content creators to make their money.
Content as a career. In 2023, the site generated over $31 billion from advertising revenue alone.
Yeah.
So it goes without saying that advertising is the backbone of YouTube. However, recently, YouTube advertisements have become a gigantic problem. Over the last 6 months or so, there have been countless reports of users coming across sexually suggestive or sometimes completely NSFW ads when browsing on YouTube. Some of you may have experienced this yourself. All of a sudden, normal ads for well-known companies like Mitsubishi, which use their ad space to sell you things like a car, have been replaced by random companies such as this weird sprunky quiz game, Top Girl Produced 2025, or Santai, which all use a mix of AI-generated imagery, or,
which is sad,
cases, literal cropped graphic videos to grab the user's
raw pornographic videos, which I actually can attest that that's not just YouTube, that's also Instagram. I can attest that because back when I used to use Instagram, I was searching up the most evilest stuff on Instagram. Like I was in a high lustful rut on Instagram, which is why I didn't want to hear anything about God, anything like that. Yeah, I got my Instagram to literally out of nowhere just promote straight up pornographic ads, and that's how I got recommended some of the dating apps I was on. There are straight up pornographic dating apps. They're straight up pornographic dating apps, and it's sad. It's sad. And I was thinking in my head, whole time thinking in my head, which maybe this is God talking in my heart. That's the thing it was. I was thinking in my head, if it's just easy for me to get this stuff on like YouTube or Instagram, imagine how easy it is for my brother's kids to get recommended these ads of these evil sexual pornographic ads that then get thrown in their face that YouTube can't control because they just want the ads on there, and then literally they're in a whole demonic lustful thing. I was like, this is bad.
Trying to pitch the user a physical product, they will try to lure them into downloading or joining some sort of free app, like a video
exactly,
platform where they can do things such as meet naughty girls nearby. But
exactly, and that's what happened with me.
The most dangerous example of these ads by far comes from a service known as Poly AI, an AI character chatbot app which has run dozens of separate ad campaigns across YouTube, the majority of which constantly brag about the quote-unquote freaky bots one can talk to on the app, and how
which is sad.
No filter. And when their ads aren't doing that, they're constantly displaying sexual imagery of random AI-generated anime girls as a way to entice viewers with, I guess, the prospect of engaging with these characters.
Which is sad.
Google's advertising policies on sexual content, I was surprised to find out that they actually allow ads for any form of quote quote-unquote sexual entertainment to be uploaded to the platform, with the only real restrictions being based on the user's age and safe search settings, which I thought was really funny considering that one of the accounts I received multiple of these NSFW ads on, including one for Poly AI, the same brand new account I created for my experiment at the beginning of the video, not only had safe search turned on and was set to filter explicit results, but also was set to the minimum age a YouTube account can possibly be, at just 13 years old.
Having trouble finding girlfriend? No worries, I got you. I'm filming your AI girlfriend. I can do anything you imagine.
I could go on and on about the dangers of a quote-unquote one-on-one video chat or AI companion app falling into the wrong hands of a child vulnerable enough to actually develop emotional dependency inside of it, but I don't need to, because it's already happening.
Already happening.
A 14-year-old boy from Florida downloaded a similar app called Character AI and spent months,
and look where it ended him. He killed himself. An innocent kid killed himself because a parent only like, oh, well, I shouldn't allow my kid to have a tablet. Which I admit it's sad the kid died. But the parent should have been like, oh, I should take a few minutes to parent my child, not allow him to have a tablet, not allow him to have any of this stuff until he's 18. But what did a parent go and do? They go and blame the government. They go and blame YouTube. They went and blamed all this stuff, which I admit, understand you want to blame stuff, but you need to come out and admit you should have been a parent. You should have just been no tablet, no none of that. But because these parents want to be best friends with their kids, they don't want to have their kids hate them. It's like they want to be best friends with their kids. They'll give them this stuff when it's wrong. Me, I care less my kid hates. I care less my kid thinks I'm being the strictest butthole in the world. I'm here to protect them. I'm here to protect them and make sure they're protected and honestly raised in the way God wants them to be raised. I'm not here to be the best friend. I'm here to protect them, make sure to raise the best way they're supposed to be raised, and make sure they don't end up going down that path that will end up leading them to suicide.
Talking to an AI chatbot resembling a Game of Thrones character, eventually becoming so obsessed with it to the point where he tragically ended his own life. Before the incident, the boy, named Sewell Setzer III, had wrote in his journal, saying, "I like staying in my room so much because I start to detach from this reality. I also feel more connected with Danny and much more in love with her and just happier." According to this article, the kid was diagnosed with mild Asperger's syndrome as a child, but never had any mental health problems or serious behavioral issues before. The article stated that he had long, sometimes intimate conversations with the chatbot, and eventually, on the night of February 28, 2024, in the bathroom of his mother's house, Sewell told the chatbot that he loved her and would soon come home to her. "Please come home to me as soon as possible, my love," the AI replied. "What if I told you I can come home right now?" the kid asked. "Please do, my sweet king," the AI replied. These were the last messages Sewell ever sent.
Sad.
And after reading such horrifying stories such as this, it makes me extra angry to see the same kind of apps doing partner promotions with creators that look like this.
Excuse me, I need to get in there.
Oh, yeah. Oh my god, you guys are so cute. You're busy.
Get away from us.
Sorry. I didn't think you like it. Hey, I'm good, bro. Okay, no worries. I don't need any friends. Holly AI chatbot? Naomi won't ignore me. Eating ramen right now. I heard you're a big fan. How can I not? We talk every day. Oh, that's up for Target. I don't need friends. Where do you up to, Naomi?
These companies know exactly
Sad. That's so sad. So sad.
On lonely minors by framing their AI chatbots
Sad.
as quote-unquote companions in hopes that the user will get emotionally attached, getting
So
addicted,
sad.
and never stop using the app. And YouTube is just openly allowing it to happen.
Openly allowing it to happen.
YouTuber Bysurf decides to call out the situation via an extremely well-made documentary. His video almost immediately gets demonetized.
Almost immediately gets demonetized. They called out the bull crap that YouTube is doing the bull crap they're doing, the wrongness they're doing, but yet you say, no, we don't want that. We want this pro evil demonic stuff to be in kids' face. Yet you talking about the truth, we're gonna demonetize you because we don't want anything of your truth out there. So yeah, that's sad.
The most dangerous case of AI being used on YouTube in a malicious way. Because as we're about to discover, the platform is dealing with another AI-related trend that is so much worse.
The following is a pattern recognition test. Stare at the images and analyze them closely. Test concluded. If you see, please subscribe and like.
Back in September 2024, an artificial intelligence company named Runway unveiled their new Gen 3 Alpha video-to-video feature, allowing users to transform existing video footage into completely new and different scenes. Essentially how it works is the user uploads a video to the platform, then inputs a text prompt to which the AI will then modify the appearance of the video based off of whatever the user entered. A few examples posted on the Runway Twitter account showcase the service being used to change a mountain landscape to some sort of fantasy yarn world. Or perhaps if you want to change a real-life video to claymation without having to do all of the work of frame-by-frame animation, Runway's got you covered there too. If you're lazy, of course. However, it wasn't until a couple months later where the service would end up being used in a much more sinister way.
Which is sad.
In December 2024, people began using Runway AI to put filters over real videos of murder, gore, and suicide, inputting
exactly, and it's straight up getting recommended to kids. Like they'll do stuff with like Minions where if anyone, they won't even think, oh, it's just a Minions video. It's just a Minions video. They're like, apparently, oh, it's just a Minions video. Now I realize on a Minions video, it's the sky. Now the Minion video is that the skies. It's actually a murder / gore / suicide video being thrown in your kid's face. Being thrown in your kid's face, which isn't right. And that's what I said, once again, no tablet, no none of that, till they're at least 18 and moved out.
With Minions.
That's what I like Gatsu. That's the reason I like Gatsu. Gatsu will not allow his kids. The most Gatsu allows his daughter don't do is play on the Switch 2 or Switch 1. And he monitors her when she's on that.
And actively being recommended on TikTok for anyone to see. One of the most notable examples was when someone uploaded a Minion filtered version of a very infamous video in which a man, let's just say, on a Facebook
game over his own life. Game over his own life.
In just a few days. Another very disturbing example was when someone put this same Minion filter over a video in which a man live streamed himself walking into a mosque and clearing out anyone in sight. Now, of course, the Minion filter just barely blocks out any gruesome details. However, all it takes is just one good glance at these videos, and it's extremely easy to tell that something is very off.
Exactly.
Videos overlay the real, unedited audio from their original counterparts. But perhaps the most concerning part about each one of these Minion AI videos is that, more often than not, either the creator themselves or a random user will post a link in the comments advertising where the user can watch the quote-unquote full uncensored video via some shady Telegram group chat link, directly linking whoever might stumble across this content to actual illegal videos.
This is wrong.
Now,
demonic.
These disturbing Minion videos weren't necessarily aimed towards kids, and have mostly been confined to niche areas of TikTok and Instagram Reels, which I'm sure leaves you wondering, why is this even relevant? And it's not just that some of these videos have also been uploaded to YouTube, because they have, but because I've found an entire niche of strikingly similar YouTube channels that are somehow even worse.
Gets even worse.
I stumbled upon a great deal of channels which all use generative AI to create quote-unquote cute cat videos. Take this channel, Cute Cat of NI, for example, which, according to the description, blends cutting-edge AI technology with a massive collection of cat photos to create enchanting and unique cat videos. Each video is a showcase of feline charm and antics, brought to life through advanced AI algorithms. However, their actual content tells a different story. Despite all of these channels' kid-friendly channel art and storytime concept, the majority of their quote-unquote stories revolves around the cats, some of which appearing to be children, having some sort of quote-unquote accident, then showcasing AI-generated imagery and video of them morbidly injured in various ways, such as bleeding out, being dismembered, mutilated, vomiting up
sad,
all completely uncensored and generated.
Sad.
I think it's worth noting that almost every scene I just played is the very first thing that the viewer sees upon clicking its respective video, likely to add shock value and keep the viewer watching. But in my opinion, the lack of any transitions, narrations, or even direction in these stories further adds to the disturbing nature of all of these channels. I mean,
very sad.
These videos are about as random as it gets, going from a harmless scene of a cat falling, immediately cutting to a scene of the same cat lying down with its organs exposed in a giant pool of blood for some reason, with the only audio to accompany it being a random song playing in the background, coupled with the occasional stock crying or screaming sound effect. Upon searching to see if anyone else had come across these weird channels, I discovered a few Reddit posts about all of these cat AI channels, which brought up a few good points. Firstly, the reason these channels are even able to exist in the first place largely comes down to the fact that YouTube has a seemingly much harder time detecting AI-generated content than regular videos. This is because their moderation heavily relies on automated systems that scan the video for anything that might violate community guidelines, as well as previously identified harmful content, which is extremely difficult to do with a channel like Cute Cat of NI, because their videos are uniquely generated out of nowhere, meaning despite obviously being against YouTube's terms of service, they haven't been flagged as previously harmful. On top of that, the hazy, dreamlike visuals that are typically present with all AI-generated imagery, coupled with the deceiving tags, descriptions, and titles these videos use to appear content, make cracking down on them even harder.
I'm now got to recommend some of these on YouTube, which is sad.
Even when one of these channels actually does get banned, several more will take its place.
You cut off one head of Hydra, more appear. You cut off one head of Hydra, more appear. You cut off one head of Hydra, more appear, which is sad. This is sad. I mean, this is just, it's pure evilly and demonic, and YouTube just they can't do anything about it. This is stuff that they can't kick out of the algorithm, because the way the AI is, YouTube can't catch it with their algorithm, as that should be a part of and against community guidelines.
Moderation on YouTube. However, what's equally concerning to me is the mystery of how these channels are even able to obtain such grotesque, visceral imagery to create these videos in the first place. I mean, just think about it. Whatever AI software these channels are using needed to learn how to generate these gruesome images somehow. Most of the popular generative AI tools such as DALL-E or Midjourney have restrictions put in place to prevent users from creating images like this for obvious reasons, which means whoever operates one of these channels is most likely using a custom or shady software, which either A, is being used to filter real gore videos, similar to the Minions trend, except with some sort of cat filter to get it past moderation, or the most likely outcome, which is B, that this software has been fed real gore images and are using them as a reference to produce whatever this is. These two anomalies are more similar than you might think. Some might even say They're two sides.
The same coin.
It's just that instead of several anonymous accounts uploading real videos to TikTok as some sort of sick joke to be viewed by all ages, it appears to be a large group of anonymous YouTube channels uploading videos being targeted to and viewed pretty much exclusively by very young children with the sole intent of making as much money as possible. And on that note, let's pivot to a different conversation. What side effects can exposure to this content realistically do to a child in the long term?
Exactly. Lasting consequences.
I think the reason
Lasting consequences, which is not good.
Covering this topic is because this is truly an unprecedented situation. Never before has a platform as free and loosely regulated as YouTube become the mainstream choice for children's entertainment. Historically, that slot has always gone to traditional TV networks such as PBS Kids, Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network, and Disney Channel. All of which follow a strict set of regulations
FCC.
like the FCC to ensure the content is both educational and age appropriate, ultimately prioritizing and putting the well-being of the viewer first.
That's why I miss being when I was a kid. I didn't have YouTube and all that. I got watched via Kids WB, Cartoon Network, Disney XD, Toon Disney, Nickelodeon. Those were good old days when you couldn't get this kind of stuff. Nowadays, YouTube is the same as watching television. YouTube, you can just easily get freely anything out there at your fingertips. This is why I say it's a much better to have your kids as just watch regular television, which once again, probably when I have kids, not even going to be able to even watch YouTube. They're not going to watch YouTube. They're going to watch regular television. I'll get them a regular television app, and they can watch that. They can watch a regular television app. They can't watch any YouTube. None of that. They're watching the regular Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon, all the other stuff. I don't care if we gotta get cable again. They'll watch that shit. They're not watching any YouTube. I just see how bad it is.
That operate with little to no oversight and instead prioritize things like engagement and ad revenue.
Exactly, ad revenue.
So far, they often use some rather disgusting tactics to get as much of it as they can. And on the worst end, one could very much make the argument that these channels are akin to some form of online grooming, given what usually
they are online grooming. They're exactly online grooming.
Suggestive content at such a young age, which we'll talk about in a second, and especially in the case of the few channels that just try to directly funnel their viewers into purchasing their NSFW content.
Exactly.
You can see my exclusive content at the link in the description.
It may take decades to fully discover the true scope of damage this content can have.
Decades.
But we can still find some early signs of its impact beginning to show. For example, the thousands and thousands of comments that were left on my last video about Minecraft Kids content from people who unfortunately fell victim to this content earlier in their life, claiming that it acted as a gateway to more severe forms of pornography addiction, and ultimately had a major negative impact on their life. Like
exactly.
I joined YouTube at the age of 6. I was exposed and had quote-unquote drowned in these types of videos for years, and then it turned to other adult sites. I'm a parent of a 5-year-old. I made the mistake of thinking that the YouTube Kids app would be safe for kids. Boy, was I wrong. I came out of the shower and saw my son just clicking through all sorts of these videos with awful things on them. As someone who did have to experience this kind of content, I must say, I am traumatized. My parents made me use YouTube Kids until I was like 10, but I remember seeing these videos and being absolutely disgusted. Coming from someone who has literally developed mental issues, a terrible attention span, screaming...
Exactly, these are people saying they have the lasting damage. Why would you want to let your kids have this kind of damage?
Obsession with... At as young as 8, I would look at... And I thought it was normal because of the content.
And they think it's normal. They think it's right, and it's wrong.
Overall anxiety to creepy things shown in the videos. There are literally thousands of comments.
Thousands of comments. Gets thousands of comments like that.
Stories. It's just so sad. It's so
sad. It's so sad.
We know that the target audience of all of this quote-unquote kids content we've talked about, children aged anywhere from 0 to 8, are in the most formative years of their life. Everything they do, learn, and consume in these years plays a huge part into shaping the type of person they'll be for the rest of their life. Which is why consumption of sexually or violently explicit media from this age is proven to be detrimental to a person's mental health and literally alter the development of their brain.
Alter the development of their psyche.
Side effects such as anxiety, depression, sleep problems, aggressive behavior, decreased empathy, cognition issues such as decreased attention span, memory and problem-solving skills. The list goes on.
Exactly.
Parents should play an active role in monitoring what their kids are doing online, which is partially why I'm making this video in the first place. I believe that out of anyone, YouTube should be held the most responsible. Time and time again, YouTube has shown a clear pattern of negligence when it comes to the well-being of their viewers, especially children on the platform. I'll expand on this in a bit, but they know this massive problem exists and have all the resources needed to fix it. Yet they choose to purposefully ignore the issue and quietly profit from it.
Because of greed, love of money.
Any individual creator who decides to speak out and make a video of it, all at the expense of potentially hundreds of millions of young viewers who may get exposed to these kinds of videos and suffer life-altering, long-lasting effects as a result. But we're not done just yet.
Smile for the camera.
I stumbled across a video by the creator, Bitter Snake, titled "YouTube is letting these channels slide," in which he pointed out a shocking discovery. If you go to the YouTube search bar and type in #orphan, #orphan baby, or any variation of the sort, you'll find a network of channels, all with foreign names that I won't even attempt to pronounce. These channels have also all seemed to have been created sometime within the last year and are all located somewhere in Vietnam. At first glance, one might think these are just simple family vlog channels documenting the life of them and their children, with about me sections that read, "I'm a single mother living in the Northern Mountains. These are different moments in daily life that I share. I hope everyone will follow and support me. Thanks a lot." However, the titles and thumbnails reveal a much darker undertone. This time, the issue isn't just children suffering from watching disturbing content. In fact, oddly enough, these channels' audiences seem to be comprised of mostly older men and women. It's children suffering to create it.
Damn.
3 children at home, older sister abused younger brother. The naughty girl accidentally made her single mother's child fall from the floor. 7-year-old girl.
Damn, that is evil. Oh, this is so evil.
A situation where I actually wish this content was clickbait, but unfortunately, these videos
this is so evil.
Exactly what the titles advertise. In other words, this is straight.
I'll react to it later, Melcarez. I'll react to it afterwards, Melcarez. Thank you for the video, Melcarez. I'll react to it afterwards.
In clear emotional distress as they're being by their siblings.
We're probably gonna watch my church sermon after this, but afterwards I'll react to your video, Melcarez. This is sick. This is sick. This is sick. This is making my stomach sick. These are evil people. These are evil people. Evil, demonic stuff.
There are plenty more disturbing clips and examples, but I think you get the point, and to be honest, I really was starting to become unsettled watching these videos, and could go without seeing any more. The point is, these videos are absolutely chilling, and I've never seen anything like them on YouTube. The fact that real, documented, which is obviously not only a clear violation of YouTube's community guidelines, but also the law, as it's completely
against the law.
So openly on YouTube speaks volumes about how broken the platform's moderation
is. It's so broken.
Even the comments, which again seem to be mostly left by older men and women, are in complete shock about what's going on in these videos, most of which, thankfully, seem to negatively criticize the parents' abuse. Like this comment, which reads, Why do these mothers think it's okay to leave a baby with these children? They're barely able to pick up a baby and could not be of any assistance should an emergency arise. The older sister is most attentive to both children. Where were they taking this baby that they took it off her back and dragged it across the ground? Obviously, mom has not given any rules of behavior to these two girls. Poor baby. But what's
exactly
is that the creator hearts most of the negative comments, meaning they know exactly what they're doing.
know exactly what they're doing.
Every single one of the channels I found remain fully monetized and are actively being promoted on YouTube, with some getting hundreds of thousands, sometimes millions of views each.
Sad.
Once again, I'm left staring at the same question. How is YouTube allowing this content to exist?
How is YouTube allowing it?
Including AI-generated content targeted towards children allowed to exist? How are thousands of channels uploading extremely sexualized content targeted towards very young children allowed to exist? To what looks to be completely untouched despite breaking several YouTube guidelines. And that brings us to the final chapter of today's video, because the answer is honestly quite simple. YouTube doesn't want it to change.
YouTube doesn't want it to change. Exactly. YouTube does not care.
Last year, I posted a documentary similar in nature to this one, going over all of the dangers with Minecraft Kids content on YouTube. Inappropriate thumbnails and themes, channels impersonating popular characters, predatory behavior, you get the idea. In the months after it was uploaded, this video would go on to grab the attention of and resonate with millions of people, receive reactions of many popular streamers, even furthering the awareness.
Dang, many popular streamers. I'm one of them now. I'm one of them. Shoot.
Really appreciate you flagging this.
I really appreciate this brother flagging this.
Very seriously.
I really appreciate him.
It's time to help keep our community safe.
Exactly. I thank you, brother. You're doing a good service. Doing a God service.
An automated response, which the Team YouTube Twitter account has used several times before, still marked the first time YouTube publicly acknowledged this massive issue of theirs, instead of just ignoring it and silencing the video like they always do. And one by one, whether it be from YouTube directly or the channel owners deciding to hide their tracks, some sort of action started to get taken against every one of the channels I mentioned in the video, with most of them either deleting a majority of their inappropriate videos or just straight up vanishing altogether. A very minute difference in the grand scheme of things, but ultimately, it was one step forward.
One step forward.
I'm sure you can imagine my surprise when an entire 2 months later, the video would randomly get demonetized out of the blue for no apparent reason. Considering the series of events that led up to this, and the fact that my video was meticulously edited and censored to fully comply with YouTube's community guidelines, I figured simply requesting a manual human review would fix the problem. However, less than an hour later, which is just barely enough time to actually watch the full documentary, let alone closely analyze it, my review was already fully denied and flagged for violence of all things, more specifically for including footage which they stated contains quote-unquote graphic dead bodies / ultra-graphic violent acts. The footage in question? A 4-second clip of modded Minecraft gameplay from one of these imitation channels' videos. Thankfully, your guys' overwhelming support on Twitter caught the attention of Team YouTube once again, who ended up replying to my thread and provided me with the ability to request an additional review, to which I filled out and eventually received an email from a member of YouTube's community outreach team finally admitting that they had made a mistake and that the video was fully monetized once again. And while I am absolutely grateful YouTube finally came to this conclusion, I believe that if it weren't for the absolute...
If it weren't for people outreaching to YouTube having outrage against this, YouTube would have never cared. They would have never cared. They would have never cared.
30-minute documentary calling out all of the horrors with Minecraft Kids content would have most likely remained fully demonetized and subsequently suppressed in the algorithm over a 4-second clip of some random modded Minecraft gameplay with absolutely no way to do anything about it, all while the original video and channel I got this footage from continues to remain fully monetized and unharmed. And the reason
Exactly.
I discuss this other potential outcome so much is because this isn't just some random hypothetical. It's what's happened to pretty much every other creator who's decided to speak up and make a video about this issue. What always
Exactly.
happens is the creator will make a video on this topic. It'll get around a couple 100,000 views, then randomly get demonetized, most of the time for showcasing content from these disgusting kids channels. All while these disgusting kids channels and all of their content continues to remain fully monetized. And
Fully monetized on YouTube.
Up until now, YouTube has always had some level of plausible deniability. Since they've done nothing but ignore the situation for as long as possible, if anything ever did escalate to the point where YouTube had to make a statement, they could just blame their algorithm or something of the sort.
Exactly.
They were never aware of what was happening. However, I believe my situation, where YouTube probably acknowledged my documentary and manually reviewed it multiple times, proves that they are fully aware of the rampant issues with inappropriate kids content and have been for at least months, if not years, yet have chosen to do absolutely nothing. So when we revisit my final question of the video, why hasn't YouTube stopped this? With this added context, it quickly becomes apparent that there's only one real answer. Money.
Money.
Like I mentioned previously,
What did I say earlier? What did I say earlier? The love of money is the root of all evil. What did the Bible say? What did Jesus say? Those are Jesus's words. Those are straight up Jesus's words. The love of money is the root of all evil. What so many Christians will get twisted and say, well, you're saying I can't have money? No, I'm not saying you can't have money. I'm saying you have love of money. You get love of that money where it's your God, where it's your greed, where you want it to be greedy and you want to have more and more and more of it. That is an evil. That is an evil. The Bible clearly, Jesus' words clearly say it. Clearly say it. But yet, so many people don't want to listen. It's clearly that. It's a love of money, the love of greed. And it's so sad. So sad. I can go right back to the Bible and go back to Jesus' words, and it's right there in his words. I'm not saying you can't have money. I'm not saying you can't have money. Because trust me, what you were saying I can't. No, I'm not saying you can't have money. I'm saying you get that love and that greed for it, where it's your idol, it's your God. That is a problem.
Advertisers paying to run ads on videos. YouTube splits this ad revenue with the video's creator, giving 55% to them and keeping 45% for themselves. Meaning, however much money any of these channels are generating, YouTube is making nearly just as much. I can
Exactly.
that this documentary is merely scratching the surface of the seemingly infinite ocean that is the massive YouTube kids content industry, and for every disgusting channel I've mentioned, there are thousands more just like it that go completely unnoticed, collectively raking in billions and billions of views, most likely enough money to make up a small but notable chunk of YouTube's revenue each year. Similar to the reasons a morally bankrupt person would want to create a disgusting channel like this aimed towards and subsequently exploiting a very young audience, a morally bankrupt company such as YouTube that time and time again has proven to not care about their viewers might conveniently remain unaware of that same channel's existence, keeping it up and reaping all of the profits. On top of all of that, if you take a moment to just think about the implications for a second, YouTube openly admitting that inappropriate content is slipping past their algorithm and making its way to kids would be a PR disaster. Every news outlet on the planet would rightfully jump on the story, and after catching wind of this, most advertisers would probably pull away from the platform like they have in previous times from similar issues in the past, causing another apocalypse where everyone loses. Which is why they choose to take the much easier route of sweeping this whole issue under the rug as possible, quietly raking in massive amounts of money while simultaneously silencing individual creators who attempt to make videos speaking out and spreading awareness about it. All at the sacrifice of millions of children and parents who trust YouTube to filter what their kids see, who are all left unprotected while YouTube looks the other way. Because it's not that YouTube doesn't know, it's that they don't care enough to change.
The only escape.
I really want to end this video with a solution, because for the most part, it looks hopeless. YouTube is a giant corporation that only cares about being profitable and can basically do whatever they want without repercussion.
Yeah.
This is exactly what happened last time around with the whole Elsagate controversy back in 2017. YouTube was letting wildly inappropriate kids content that used household characters slip through its cracks, and eventually, enough viewers, YouTubers, and news outlets came together to spread awareness about it, which caused a ton of major advertisers to pull out of the platform, losing YouTube money, which finally caused them to crack down on it and remove thousands of these disgusting Elsagate channels. YouTube will only respond if they're provoked. That whole situation really made me realize that the only potential way that could possibly lead to some sort of fix is to simply spread the message. If you're a parent, family member, or know anyone that might be susceptible to getting affected by this type of content, I highly recommend you keep a closer eye on what they're watching. It may be more disturbing than you might think. Not to mention, there are plenty of safer alternatives for children's content out there that are actually regulated, like the TV stations I mentioned prior. I mean,
exactly.
PBS Kids. If you have any connections to news outlets or other places,
exactly. There's a lot of better TV alternatives. I mean, you got stuff like I watch, like the Christian network I watch, like Angel Studios. You got them. You could have your kids watch Angel Studios, watch a few Christian videos on there. It's way better for your kids than what's on YouTube. You have to pay money for it, but it's money well spent towards going towards better educating your kids in the way of God.
In fact, I encourage it. I know there's been quite the controversy surrounding reaction content in the past. Some YouTubers don't like it. They claim that it steals their views and gives them less money. But in this particular instance, I could care less about that. Simply spread.
You see, I agree with him. I agree with him. Yeah, that was a good video.